of it. I'm taking a shot for my enemies. I can't waste no more time on my energy. I know they know I got it on lock. Go against me, that's a long shot. Cause I'm counting wins all around the clock. Never doubt me, boy, I don't stop. Who do you feel when they make you the monster? I am not scared of none of you imposters. Taking the lead now while they watching. Think you should leave now while the option. Taking their wells, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. I'm running the game now. Foot on the gas, can slow down, no.
Welcome to another edition of the It's Cavalier podcast. It's your boy Mac, and tonight our Cleveland Cavaliers took on the Milwaukee Bucks for the third time this season, emerging victorious for the third straight time. Yo, we going for this series sweep. We play them again in March. Let's fucking go. What a hell of a way to bring Max Strus back. I mean, this team, how fucking thoughtful of the Cavs to deliver a goddamn ass kicking in Max Strus's return to boost his confidence. How fucking thoughtful of this team. And against the Milwaukee Bucks at that. Giannis and company. Yeah, they didn't have Dame, but get the fuck out of here if you're going to make excuses for them. Okay? I'm just going to tell you that right now. There's the door. Woo! Man, I am feeling good. It's Friday, the Friday before Christmas. The Cavaliers won me even more Christmas spending money right before the holiday. I feel great, man. I feel good. Man, this game had a little bit of everything in it. The Cavaliers ended up winning 124-101. Yet another game in which they crossed the 100-point barrier. They have not dropped below 100 this season. I do not see it happening this season. I just don't see it happening. Thank you for letting me know that. There it goes right there. I already had it queued. It uploaded. Duque Helper. I assume that's how you pronounce that name, but I do appreciate that. Always good to have people to have my back. But again, this had a little bit of everything in it. You had Donovan having a classic Donovan Mitchell game, 27 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, an efficient 9 of 15 from the field, 3 of 7 from three-point distance, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, plus 21 on that. You had Evan Mobley and Jared Allen versus Giannis Antetokounmpo. Look, Giannis is going to get his, and that's exactly what happened tonight. 33 points and 14 rebounds for him as he took 22 shots and hit 13 of them. Doesn't take a lot of triples, just one on the night, but he gets to the line a ton. 10 free throw attempts for Giannis. That led both teams. Look, you know you're going to get that shit. You know that's going to happen. He's going to play bully ball. He's going to ram his way into the paint. Sometimes you can have solid defensive positioning, as we saw Evan Mobley, Jared Allen at times have against this guy. But frankly, like against the LeBrons of the world, this is just what you're going to have to live with. He will get his. He will get to the line. But that does not mean that he didn't have to work to get his. That's exactly what happened. They put a body in front of him at all points in time. They made sure that their presence was felt on the defensive end. And that's really all you can ask for against Giannis. The old strategy of build the wall still kind of works against him in certain regards, because again, he's not a guy who's going to go out there and put up a bunch of triples. He just does not attempt that shot a ton, and he only took one on the night. Giannis is just not a shooter, but he will bully his way inside. Prior to tonight, he came in shooting just, I shit you not, 17.6% from the 3-point line. It's just no bueno for him. He's only taken 18 now on the season. So you live with whatever he gets, especially if you're limiting those around him. No Dame tonight. That definitely hurt. I'm sure that he felt like he was out there by himself with points, as only one other starter scored in double figures for him. And get this shit. They had 2 starters score 0 points. AJ Green and Andre Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. They did not score at all. So two starters did not score for them. And the bench was, not much better. You had a couple of guys out there trying to put something together, but Chris Middleton is not what he once was. Gary Trent Jr., we know that. We don't like Gary Trent Jr. over here based upon what he did to Darius Garland not so long ago. Bobby Portis gets a lot of flack, but I'll tell you this. I respect Bobby Portis. I don't know why Milwaukee fans hate that guy so much, but you know what? I would love to have a Bobby Portis on the Cavaliers. That'd be a pretty good fit here. But yes, I'm sure Giannis felt like he was all alone tonight without the scoring presence of Dame. But you know what? I don't care. The Cavaliers are dealing with injuries in their own right. They've dealt with it all season long. And the man of the hour, the man that this podcast is titled after tonight, Max Strus, he returned. He's missed all games this season. The 28th game of the season in which they picked up the W was his first game of the year. And speaking of Max Strus, look, I've been asking people left and right, do you feel like Max Strus is a good shooter? Where do you fall at on his impact? And I'll tell you, I've been saying this shit all season long, really since Kenny Atkinson got to town. I feel like Max Strus is the tailor-made type of player for this type of offense that Kenny Atkinson likes to run. It's very ball movement centric. There's a lot of off-ball movement featured in this offense, and you saw that from Max Strus tonight. May not have been the most efficient night for him at times, but you know what? He finally got it going in that third quarter as he drilled all 3 of his triples in that third. He would end up going 3 of 8 from the field. All 8 of those attempts were from the 3-point line, and he ended up going 3 of 8. 9 points in 19 minutes off the bench. Probably a quality decision made by Kenny Atkinson and his coaching staff to keep him off, bring him off the bench in his first game back. I do eventually feel that they may turn to Strus as the starter. But I'll tell you what, with guys like Dean Wade playing like he did tonight, and we'll get to Dean Wade here in a minute, but there's a case to be made that Max could potentially be more impactful or at least bring the same value that he does off the bench. I mean, just a brilliant return to the lineup for him. And it wasn't always perfect at times, but I felt like he made his presence felt in his limited action out there. He entered at the 7:17 mark in the first quarter and played the rest of the first in an additional 2 minutes and 43 seconds in the second before giving way to Dean Wade once more. Then he would return midway through the third at the 6:20 mark, and that's when he drilled his first his first 3 at that point. And then, the minutes breakdown for him, because they came in saying that they wanted to limit him to under 20 minutes. And that's exactly what happened tonight as he played 19 or so. But I thought the way that they chose to distribute those minutes was pretty quality. Again, he hit his first triple, really his first field goal of the season with little over 6 minutes left in the third, right after coming in, and then drilled 2 more. When this guy gets his legs under him, you better watch out. You better watch out. He is tailor-made for this type of offense. Quality movement shooter, quality facilitator, underrated defender, underrated rebounder. He just impacts the game in so many ways, in a variety of ways, and doesn't always have to have the ball in his hands to do so. And that, my friends, is what has me feeling so damn good about the return, right? Because I talked about it in a recent piece of content I put out. 3 ways that this dude makes the Cavs better. Number 1, spacing. We know that was obviously the biggest reason why he was brought here to Cleveland, to fill in that role in the starting lineup as a volume shooter. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Prior to him coming to Cleveland, I always thought of Max as more of a movement shooter than anything. Didn't really consider the fact that he could facilitate, didn't really consider the fact that he was a quality rebounder, didn't really consider the fact that he was an underrated defender, although the hustle has always been there coming from that Miami Heat system. But I never really thought of him as all of those things. I really just thought of him as a shooter. And then his first season in Cleveland taught me a lot of things about him and what he is capable of. And you saw some of that tonight. 3 of 8 from the 3-point line. That is volume. You want that shit. You want guys, especially off your bench, to take that shot at volume. Guys who are not going to be afraid to take it when it's there. We have seen far too many times in the past, not this season, because I really have felt good about the guys who are guilty of doing this in the past, in the JB era. But last season and years before that, guys off that bench, really in the starting lineup at points, were pretty afraid to take that shot when it was given to him. And you guys all know who I'm talking about. Hasn't happened this season for the most part, but Max Strus is that guy. He's got ultra confidence in his ability to shoot. And even when that shot isn't falling, you want him to continue to take it. And more often than not, he is going to reward you for doing that. The other portion of that is when that shot is not falling, are you generating gravity? Is your presence, your mere presence on the court, is it generating gravity? The answer to that question is undeniably yes for the likes of Max Strus. I continue to say this. Last season, 1.8 of his 6+ three-point attempts on the season last year were considered tightly defended. That was second to only Donovan Mitchell's 2 per game and 17th in the fucking league. Teams respect his ability to shoot. Teams in this Kenny Atkinson-led offense are going to respect him even more so. You know that he thinks very highly of you when you're getting comps to, and I'm going to say the name, we all know, Joe Harris. Joe Harris, former Cavalier. You guys all remember him. You remember the production that he gave the Brooklyn Nets for so many seasons, right? When we think about great three-point marksmen, Joe Harris's name may not be at the top of the list. Guys, we're talking about a guy here who led the NBA in three-point percentage twice and shot over 40% from three-point distance 6 straight seasons. He's a career 43.6% shooter from three-point distance. Am I saying Max Strus is as deadly a shooter as the Cavs legend, Brooklyn legend, whatever you want to call him, Joe Harris? No, I'm not saying that, not in the slightest. But what I am saying is they share a lot of similarities. They have a lot, the off-ball movement that we have seen from both players, it's there. And I think that if anybody can bring that high efficiency Strus back into the equation, it is Kenny Atkinson. Because Strus, back-to-back seasons, shooting around 35%, you know, the far cry from the 40+% that he shot 2 seasons ago with Miami, 2 or 3 seasons ago with Miami. I think he can get back to that point, or at least very close to it, on a high volume shot diet. If anybody can get him to do it, it is Kenny Atkinson. The other player who I think is going to start rounding back into form is Sam Merrill, a very similar player in his own right. Not necessarily capable of doing everything and bringing everything to the table that Max does, but Sam Merrill is a quality shooter himself. He has a lot of gravitational pull himself. Not another night he's going to want to remember from an efficiency standpoint, as he would go just 2 of 6 from the field, including 1 of 5 from three-point range. But Max and Sam share a lot of similarities, and they're both going to be big pieces in this rotation until somebody's moved, or somebody is going to be somebody's going to be out of the rotation. And that's going to be a tough conversation to have. But until Isaac Okoro comes back, you're going to be able to chill on some of those conversations. You're going to be able to chill on some of those conversations. But yes, a lot of things to take stock in tonight and a lot to be proud of. One of the things that I am proudest of is Dean goddamn Wade. Dean Wade. I'm sorry for the language. I am hype right now. I'm feeling really good. This Cavaliers win has me feeling so hype. But Dean Wade, I don't know what it is about this dude, but whenever he is out there, the Cavaliers just have this way about them where you just feel like they can win. I mean, this dude, he was locking shit down defensively when he was out there. He was playing very, very freely, very, very confidently. And tonight marks just the 3rd game in this season in which he has drilled 3 or more triples. It hasn't happened all that often. I'll tell you what, it has not been the most efficient and effective start offensively for Dean. That, frankly, that's fair, right? He came in struggling to begin the season shooting. He came into tonight shooting just 30.5%. You heard that right. Don't adjust your headsets, your AirPods, your speakers, whatever you're listening out of. He came in shooting 30.5% from three-point range. That's pretty damn bad. I think we can admit that. But the thing is, his presence has often translated to wins for the Cavs. It's uncanny. It is uncanny. The Cavaliers are now 19-1 when Dean Wade plays, and 10-1 when Dean Wade starts this season. It's crazy. The impact that this man has on winning is apparent. And I don't care. I see people in here trashing him, like saying he's been trashed this season. Yes. From an offensive standpoint, Dean Wade has not been able to find his shot, similar to Sam Merrill. It's been very, very ice cold. But it's undeniable the impact on winning that this dude has. That cannot be argued. That he's there. He is a huge reason why the Cavaliers are sitting here with the best record in the NBA at 24-4. Again, 19-1 when Dean plays, 10-1 when he starts this season. Unsung hero at times. Somebody who can impact the game in ways that don't always show up on a traditional box score stat sheet. Tonight, it did, and you love to see it. In 21 minutes of action, 15 points, 5 rebounds. He's been pretty damn good on the glass to start the year. 2 assists, 5 of 6 from the field, including 4 of 5 from three-point distance. That's the most important fucking stat to me. 4 of 5 from three-point distance. Not only did he have the confidence to continue to take the shot, he made them. And he made the defense pay time and time again. That is what you want to see out of Dean Wade. He was a plus 19 on the night and good. You know, the thing about Dean is he's never going to be a high minute guy. Just 21 minutes tonight, by far the fewest of any of the starters. By the way, nobody in the starting lineup against the Milwaukee fucking Bucks played more than 27 minutes. That's Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. You'll love to see that. It keeps the guys fresh. And this is a marquee matchup. I don't care if Dame ain't out there. This is a marquee matchup. Giannis is one of the faces of the league. And I'll tell you what, anytime you can get your starters that quality of rest, right? Nobody's playing over 27 minutes in that starting unit. You will live with that all the live long day. You should be fucking happy about that. But moreover, the point is, Dean Wade himself is not a guy who's going to end up playing a high minute role. Even when he starts, he's probably never going to play more than 24, 25, maybe 26 on a good night. And due to the deepness, let me mute that. Due to the deepness of this Cavaliers team, they are not going to be forced to lean on their starting 5 too often. And that goes for if Max Strus returns to the starting unit or not. We're in a much better place from a depth standpoint, although it seems like we have basically the same roster we had last year. You know, you can argue that Ty being back, Ty Jerome being available is basically an addition because it didn't really have him last year in his first true Cavalier season. But man, this feels good. Kenny is getting the absolute best out of most, if not all of these guys, even when their shots aren't falling. You can feel the impact, the effects of their game. It helps, man. It helps. And one point that's underrated that Richard Hacker is pointing out down here, very, very good point, by the way, is that it helps when you're able to play a lower minute total in regards to your starters when you have a back-to-back lined up. And the Cavaliers do end up playing the Philadelphia 76ers tomorrow at 8. So getting these guys out of the game and making sure that they are fresh to go for tomorrow, or at least have fresher legs than you typically would have on the second night of a back-to-back, that's a good thing. You should be excited about that. And nevertheless, coming against a Milwaukee Bucks team that's still quite dangerous, due to the fact that they still have Giannis. They still have some good quality players over there. And it's not like Milwaukee's shitty even without Dame. They're not the Cavaliers. Nobody's the Cavaliers right now, but they're still dangerous as hell. We learned that just this earlier this season when we had guys like AJ Green destroying us from 3-point distance. You never want to underestimate your opponent. And the Cavaliers have been very, very good about that, keeping that mental edge, staying sharp and ready no matter who the opponent is out there. They're not always going to be, it's impossible to be locked in 100% of the time. But for the most part, the Cavaliers have stayed locked in no matter who the team is out there. They've kept that mental sharpness, that mental edge, and Kenny has kept them competitive in games where maybe they feel like just kind of throwing it in a little bit and not necessarily putting their foot to the metal the whole time. But he has been very, very good about that this year. I was astounded by some of this shit I saw tonight, though. The Dean Wade confidence, the ability to finally knock down a good number of shots. That was definitely up there for me. Darius Garland's near dunk. Oh my God, I wanted that so much. You rarely see Darius Garland dunk or attempt to dunk. And it wasn't even just a dunk. It was a putback, right? When the fuck have we seen that? When have we seen Darius Garland try and put back in regards to a dunk? It's one thing to try and tip it back in, but to see Darius, the confidence is through the roof. He's out there having fun. If he is trying to go out and tip back dunk, right? A tip dunk. It's all the juices were flowing tonight. These guys must have felt really good. And Darius Garland, he would have had the highlight of the season, in my opinion. Although you don't really think about these things too often, but Darius Garland going out there and nearly dunking, that would have been awesome. I thought Evan Mobley, the matchup between him and Giannis, that was something to keep an eye on, because this is the type of matchups, especially in the playoffs, Giannis versus Mobley from a defensive standpoint. Defending Giannis, we know that Evan Mobley is capable of doing that. But Mobley having the confidence to take it to Giannis from an offensive standpoint, that's something that we haven't always seen. We've seen Mobley dominate the Bucks before, but it isn't always when Giannis is out there. Seeing him do that to Giannis and company, that has got to be demoralizing for the Bucks. It is great, right? Mobley, he's coming into his own. He's looking more and more confident from an offensive standpoint. He didn't make any triples tonight, but he attempted to. I want him to continue to do that. Just continue to put that shot up. I love that, man. I love it. It is good for his development. Wins like tonight are good for his development, really good for the entire Cavaliers team. But specifically for the Mobley versus Giannis matchup, you love to see him go out there and play confidently, no matter how good or bad Giannis is in a particular matchup. So that was pretty damn awesome. Again, seeing Donovan have a very, very good game, looking like he is not necessarily hampered in any shape or form, because he had just his second dunk of the season the last time out. But I'll tell you this, I think he's conserving some of that energy. I think that he is seeing that, hey, I don't really have to go out there and just turn the gas on every single possession anymore. I don't have to do that. I can lean on a Evan Mobley. I can lean on a Darius Garland. I can lean on Jared Allen. Hell, maybe I can lean on Dean Wade. But here's the thing. I think that he is conserving some of that. I don't think he is going full throttle like we have seen him do the past 2 seasons in Cleveland. And you know what? That's probably a good thing, because there are definitely points there in the season where I'm like, dude, I'm just like, you probably could have dunked that. But there were numerous plays tonight and where you saw the athleticism peek through, right? You saw it, and it was pretty awesome. Richard Hacker says, I think DM best cross dribble in NBA. It's right up there. Tune In Sports says, you really don't. That's what's great about this season. I love it, man. The fact that he is playing a career low minutes, and honestly, all of these guys are, right? But Donovan in particular, learning that he can trust his teammates, his other core members of the team, learning that he can do that and not have to absolutely, completely exhaust himself for this team to be successful. It's been great. And that's been happening all season long. Again, 35.3 minutes per game last season, 35.8 minutes per game the season before that. This season, he came in tonight playing just 31.9, and that's going to drop tonight after playing just 27. This is the fewest minutes he's played his entire career, guys. This is the fewest minutes per game he has ever averaged. That is good. Donovan Mitchell should be the freshest that he has ever been for the playoffs. And at this point, the Cavaliers should basically be a lock. They should be a lock. I don't know what's going to end up happening with the top, 1 or 2 seeds, but the Cavaliers, if they continue to build enough of a lead, if they build a sizable enough lead on that number 1 seed, and right now they're 2.5 games ahead of the Boston Celtics, who are at 21-6. So you know what? Keep it going. Keep the guys fresh. And you have a recipe for success. You're going to have a favorable matchup come the playoffs. And that's really where most of the questions lie for this team, right? The postseason. I'll tell you this. The Cavaliers, they do have some questions and some things to figure out prior to the trade deadline, right? They have to figure out what they're going to do about this luxury tax threshold situation. The Cavaliers, They don't have a lot of wiggle room. They don't have a lot of movable assets, but they have to be able, if they intend on getting below that that threshold, they're going to have to make some sort of move. A lot of people have speculated that one of Karis LeVert or Isaac Okoro could be gone by the deadline. I'm not of that mindset. I don't really know who it could be, but I know that a small move is likely. It's a toss up, right? It could be anybody. Nobody on that bench may be safe, right? I think there are guys who are safer than others, but essentially at the end of the day, none of them are safe. When the Cavaliers may feel like this is their window, and make no mistake, the Cavaliers title window could be open right now. It probably is open right now, but there is a real chance that the Cavaliers think, hey, this is our best chance to contend. We have all these guys up in here who we feel that could give us a chance to win a title. So maybe we go all in. Maybe we make that move right now and enter our title window. And I know nobody wants to talk about it, but it's the reality of the situation. The trade deadline is still about 2 months away. But here's the thing. We know that luxury threshold thing, that is definitely a real problem for this Cavaliers team. Not a problem in the sense where the Cavaliers are trying to figure out, hey, what is that next piece that's going to give us over the hump necessarily? And that is technically true, but it's a problem in the sense that we have too many mouths to feed and we don't have enough money to go around for everybody in this new CBA. So we got to figure out, we got to sort out how we're going to handle this to get below that threshold. So it's a lot to figure out, but the Cavaliers, I have faith in them, and whatever decision that Kobe Altman and company decide to go in, I'm going to try and trust and believe in them because they have given us a magnificent start to this season. It's just been awesome, man. And that's probably all I can say on that. If I had one real need on this team, probably backup 4-5. I would like a taller wing, right? Taller 3-4 out there. And the one player that I dream of to have on this team is Larry Nance Jr. Be a perfect fit, perfect middle ground for those people out there that want Cam Johnson or, Rui or, I'm just thinking some of the names that pop up out there. And Larry, he may not be like the prototypical wing, but he has a guy that can guard multiple positions. He can knock down that 3-point shot, and he can facilitate a little bit. So Larry, I feel like would be a perfect fit. I think he's kind of rotting away for that Atlanta Hawks team, and hopefully he ends up being bought out by them, and the Cavaliers can snatch him up rather cheaply on the buyout market. But even if they had to go the trade route, there are some moves that they could potentially make to go out and acquire him. Maybe a Samuel and a George Niang, something along those lines. Maybe Niang in a few seconds. I don't know. But there are different things that the Cavaliers can do and explore if they have to get into the trade market. If they are intending on getting below the threshold, you're going to have to do something anyways. But we'll see. I would hope that that they're able to figure this situation out sooner rather than later, so it's not kind of hanging over our heads and we're having to find ourselves saying goodbye to one of these rotation members that we've fallen in love with. But that's the nature of the beast, right? That's the hard part of being a fan. You fall in love with all these guys. You don't want to trade any of them. And right now, make no mistake, I don't want to trade anybody off of this team, but I also understand the reality of the situation, and that being that the Cavaliers, if they intend on getting below that threshold, they're going to have to move somebody. I don't know. Again, that's probably all I can say on that. But tonight's victory, man, it makes you think, and it makes you feel that, hell, they don't need to do anything. They don't need any extra pieces. But when in reality, you can never be too careful in regards to picking up pieces. We'll have to see how it all plays out. But that's really it for tonight. I mean, it did not require a gargantuan effort from our starters. You did not put a lot of heavy minutes on their legs, and they should be better for it come this Philadelphia game, where you'll have to see what Philly's able to do against this stifling Cavaliers defense. And it's just been phenomenal, man. This season as a whole has been awesome. And I knew that when they added Strus back into the equation to a team that is already doing so damn well from an offensive standpoint, right? They entered tonight with scoring the league's second most points per game at 121.5. They are leading the league in 3-point percentage at 39.9%. They are tops in the league in field goal percentage at 50.4%. They're top 3 in total 3-pointers made, and on and on and on. And you're talking about getting Max Strus back on top of that. You're talking about adding a quality volume shot maker on top of that. Get out of here, man. It's crazy. It is truly something that makes you thankful that the Cavaliers decided that, hey, we have this core and we're going to stand by it. And we have these guys on the bench who we believe in, and we're going to stand by them. Because Lord knows how many people were poo-pooing Kobe Altman, wanting him fired. And y'all tell me right now in the comments, has Kobe Altman looked like a executive of the year or not? Because I think he has. And he really ain't even do shit this all season, but re-sign the core members and, draft Jalen Tyson. They're really, and bring in JT Thor. There's like small moves here and there, but he has every move this offseason has essentially paid off, right? Bringing a core back who's having a career season. Sucks that he's out for 2 weeks, possibly a little bit more than that, but he has been quality. He's been a quality player this year. Donovan Mitchell, by far, looking like the guy that they have bargained for every single season since they acquired him. Evan Mobley looking like he's taking the steps toward taking that leap. Darius Garland returning to all-star level basketball. I'll tell you what, the people who did not want Kobe Altman here anymore, I hope you all have changed your minds and understood that sometimes a plan takes time to see results really being yielded. He had a plan and he stuck to it. And damn, it's like we're in the position that we are because they didn't listen to public pressure. They did not fold. They did not listen to the folks who wanted Jared Allen or Darius Garland gone. It's a good place to be in, guys. We're at the top. We're at the top, and hopefully the Cavaliers keep the party on a rolling tomorrow against the Philadelphia 76ers. That's about it for this one. I hope you guys will join me tomorrow, but I'm just in a good place tonight. Like I always say, guys, if you'd like to reach out to me, you know how you can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, more. If you want to be added to the It's Cavalier Discord chat, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot of said review to itscavalier53@gmail.com, and I will send you said invite. If you're watching over on Next, like I know some of you are, head on over to YouTube right now. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a beat of Cavaliers coverage. I go live after every single one of these games. I've done it all 28 games this season. I'm likely to do it again tomorrow, and hopefully I'm doing it more often than not in a win. Go Cavs.